Hello and welcome to week 8 of the Temple Read Aloud project, where we are teaching early math by providing language exploration through using books and related activities. I am Suzanne Forsyth with the University of Texas. This week we will be reading Is It Larger, Is It Smaller by Tana Hobain. This book targets measurement skills where the child recognizes and compares heights or lengths of people or objects. Target vocabulary for this week are words like large, larger, largest, small, smaller, smallest, tall, taller, tallest, short, shorter, shortest. Challenge terms could be things like long, longer, longest, more, most, less, least. The reason that I don't have page numbers for these vocabulary words is because you will be using the pictures. Again, there are no words in this book. Now last week when you read 50 on the zebra, you read a lot of questions that went with the stories asking about the pictures, and the child answered. You're going to do kind of the same thing for your child with this book. Reading suggestions are ask a lot of questions about the pictures. Things like which whatever is bigger or smaller or taller or shorter, or how many whatevers do you see? Are there more small balls or big balls? What do you think about, or why do you think this? The idea is to develop a conversation about the pictures that are in this book. I'm going to give you some examples. There's this picture of this boy, and we're thinking about, these are compare words. What can we compare? Well, do you see bears? How many bears do you see? Which one of those bears is larger? Which one of those bears is smaller? How many books do you see in this picture? I see 1, 2, 3, 4 books. Which one of those books is the smallest? Okay, how many pillows does that boy have in this picture? And the child can count those pictures. Which one of those pillows is the largest? I can even work in, look at this child's socks. Are they the same or are they different? Not at all the same. Here's another picture that's in this book. You can generate some of the same types of questions. What do you see in this picture? Do all of these look the same? Do all of these look the same? Are these the same as those? How many of the men are there? How many of the girls are there? What color are the men? What color are the girls? Which pair of scissors is larger? Which pair of scissors is smaller? Which set of paper dolls has the smaller figures? All kinds of questions that you can ask about this picture. What do you think? How do you think they made those? Here's another picture from this book. The kinds of questions you might ask are, what is this lady doing in this picture? Why do you think she has this on the child's head? Who's taller, the woman or the child? Is the giraffe taller than the child? Questions like that, where you're just generating a conversation, and also your child might have ideas of things to talk about and kind of to continue the conversation. So, activity suggestions to go with this book. The first one is measuring by hand. Simply trace your child's hand on a piece of paper and cut it out. Your child can use that hand print to measure different things around the house. You can also compare the lengths of things that they measured with their hand and talk about, this one is longer, the table is longer than the chair, or this is taller than that. You want to use as many of those comparative words as possible in your conversations. You can extend that by writing down the number of hands long various items are and looking at those numbers and comparing the numbers. My nightstand is 6 hands long, but that book is only 2 hands long. Which is larger, 6 or 2? Using words like greater, larger, more, smaller, and less. The activity suggestion number 2 for this week actually allows you to use another pre-K guideline. Here in the measuring skills, a child informally recognizes and compares weights of objects or people. So here, this wasn't really in the book, but you have that comparative language that the child is learning. So choose items around the house or things that are outside and ask whether they are heavier or lighter than your child. Things like a small toy. Is this heavier or lighter than you? The kitchen table. Is that heavier or lighter than you? A pillow. A car. Is that heavier or lighter? You can extend this to more precise understanding by giving your child objects to hold in their hands and have your child describe which one weighs more and which one weighs less. The third activity suggestion for this week is name something. So on this one, you're going to ask your child to name something that's taller than a school bus. What is shorter than a child? Let your child ask you to name something too. You can extend this by asking your child about something longer than a shoelace or shorter than a pencil. And that is it for week 8. Thank you again for participating in our study, and we look forward to working with you again next week.